Now, let's get into having a look at this kit. Now, this is a brand new tool from Tamiya. Really exciting release. One for the French tankers out there who like that sort of thing. It goes hand in hand with another thing that I've been toying with the idea of. So we've got the R35 and now the H39 and even the Char B. So as far as French tanks are concerned, Tamiya are really looking out to keep us catered for all modelling needs. Now we're going to get into a review on this and talk about some ideas on that as well. So let's have a look at the bench, see what we get in the box of the Tamiya model. So here we are ready to look at the brand new French light tank H39, or the Panzerkampfwagen 38H, or the 735F, and the F is for French, I believe. So this is a brand new tool. Not sure it actually shares much with this. I thought it did, but I don't think it does. I think everything's different. I think the tracks are different, the running gear is different. So my initial thought was the reason they've done this is because they already had this. I don't think that's the case. Typical Tamiya, it's just a random out of the blue, here you go, another Battle of France model. So someone there obviously absolutely loves the Battle of France, and that's no bad thing in my book. So this is, in my opinion, the best model Tamiya have released, certainly in the Armour range to date, and the figures are incredible. Now we've got two marking schemes here, and curiously I'm actually going to be doing the French one. I'm going to be doing this one. I don't fancy the German one. I'm quite picky, I must admit. We're just, as we're talking about them, on the R35 I'm going to do a German one in German grey, because I don't fancy the French ones. I was going to do a Polish one, but it's the same colour, and I really don't fancy it. I just don't like the paint scheme. But this is screams sort of 1940s to me. This is right up my street, and I don't really fancy the German Dunkelgelb version. That figure, the pose, the uniform, I hope they release this separately. You could, you know, put that as a £5 figure and sell thousands of them. You'll see what I mean when you look at it. So let's start with the sprues. Now we've got a big pile of sprues here, in the same old tan kind of colour. We've got link and length tracks, two main sprues set up for the actual tank, and then we've got the running gear. So let's have a look first at some of this sublime cast texture, and this really is where this starts to really come in to its own. So there we go with the turret. We can see there the cast texture as it's coming around the light there. Now I've seen a few of these built up, and I see that people are adding their own cast texture. I actually think that is plenty. You do get the odd seam line, which is running down there. So I think that probably wants to be scraped off. It wants to be checked first, because funny things do happen, but that looks very much like a seam line to me. And then I would recast texture over there with the stippling technique, but I don't think I'd add to this. I think that's exactly what it's meant to look like. I think if you did more, it's going to be too heavy, and once you do your paint, it's going to catch in the light. I think it's overkill to redo it, personally. I'm sure a lot of modelers will, as they do, because that's what the whole Armour game's about. But for me, that's enough. Now if we carry that on into the hull, again, look at that sweep along there. Absolutely stunning. Really an incredible model, this. Another fine thing to see is the Hotchkiss stamp on the Renault badge. There is no Renault. Probably a copyright issue. the underside of the hole there as well. And I thought this was particularly neat. Cast where it needs to be, not where it isn't. Even on the underside, where you could argue it doesn't need to be. And similarly, here, where it is cast, and here. And then where there's actual metal plate, it's smooth metal plate. Unfortunately, typical Tamiya, we've got ejector pin marks running along here. The only hope is that something covers them up, but they are notorious for having the odd ejector pin mark in weird places. That's pretty good stuff. And now it gets really good, in my opinion. So we were talking about the figures. Now, let's see. That there. That's the German figure. And what's really impressive here, you can see the marks in that sweater that he's got on under his tunic. The bag. The old bread bag that they have, which I think goes on his back. Oh, hang on. Or is that his back? Huh. We'll have a look in the instructions. And the face. Lots of character there. Now, it gets better when we go up to the French figure. So, if we have a look here, the detail sculpted in there and here with the flaps coming down from the side of the helmet. The detail in the arms, the folds, the scarf. Really is quite something. The crispness there. It's excellent stuff. As we go on round again, we've got cast texture here on this domed cupola. We've also got the flattened one for the Wehrmacht version, the German version. Got a slide moulded barrel there, which is nice to see from Tamiya. Still on all of these plates here. And importantly, which is not in the R35, we've got the trench skid goes out the back, which is an iconic piece of these vehicles. Now, there are some R35s without it. There's not many H39s, Hotchkiss 39s without it. Exquisite moulding. It's so clean. I mean, we know what we get from Tamiya, but it's really nice to see it. Lincoln length tracks. Very nicely done. Again, all of this is moulded exquisitely. The tracks have internal detail as well, which you often don't get very much of, but it's got quite good detail running on the inside as well, which you do see. And the finesse there. Those towing eyes. Really, really good stuff, as we'd come to expect. We also get polycaps and a nice amount of chain, which all these French tanks had. We've got the marking schemes. So we've got French 1940, and this is called out with XF58 and then XF9 over the top. I mean, now, this could be a video in itself. Is that the correct colour, etc., etc. Once it's on, I'm sure it's going to look good enough. I don't anticipate many issues there. This shows the German cupola, which is what they seem to do. They just cut it off and put flat hatches on. This is the German scheme. So this is one in 1945, Germany. So just sort of last-ditch stuff. I think they were used in and around Normandy from the beach landings and in the Balkans for security purposes. We've got a nice bit of history on the vehicle here as well. And it says here on the in service. So it obviously used in France and then basically gave up with the rest of the tanks divisions when France was overrun. And then a lot of these tanks ended up going into German service. And there you can see upgrading them with radio equipment and a cupola hatch pressed into service in occupied areas such as the Balkans, and also saw action with the 211th Panzer Battalion, which took part fighting in Finland during the German invasion of the Soviet Union, and then also after the landings. And of course, yes, a lot of self-propelled guns went on to this chassis. Now that leads into the let's hope Tamiya is going to do it. I mean, you know what Tamiya are like. They've got an easy win there, and we might not see anything for 10 years, and then they might release one, or they might do it next year. Who knows? There's the decals. Typical stuff. They are printed by Tamiya. I expect we're going to have all the same thing. All I would do here is cut around. I expect that's in one piece. I just cut around the 6, cut around the 4, and line them up like that. Quick look through the instructions then. So it's typical stuff. Pick your version and then crack on. Whole tub, which often is a worry if it's anyone else other than Tamiya. Just did this on the Panzer I, no problem. Holes together, poly caps going on for your sprockets, and straight into the running gear, getting all of that done. Looks like it's a little bit more complex than others in the Tamiya range. There's quite a lot to get sorted out there. Then we're into the link and length tracks. These are the links. Sorry, these are the lengths. They're the links. That's how that goes. Make sure your direction's correct. Make sure you line up that with the peg there in the idler. Get your side fenders on then. Whole tub going on. Fittings, exhaust, shroud. On and on and on we go. Final few bits. Presumably then getting into the turret after we've got the tail spade. And then we've got skid, sorry. Then we've got what we're going to do here in the way of chain and how to lay it out. Gun barrel going on, so we've got a 2-piece section here, and then the actual gun goes through as a single piece. And again, I think you can get around that with cast texture. Now this is the turret going on. Then we pick, coming down, which side we're going. So this is German, this is French. Run on down to give you different look to the turret. There's our German chap going on in there. Now, it looks as though he's just going in as he is. I thought he had a hole in his back. Yeah, he does. That seems to be normal, because that's the Frenchie's bag. So he's just got a hole in his back, and it's not a problem. He's only poking his little head out, look. So I guess that hole in the back is to go up along the gun breech. But it's just such a great look for a figure. There's so many, imagine him in the top of a king tiger or in the top of a panther or something like that, late war. It's just classic. It's a brilliant, brilliant pose. I know not a lot's going on, but just having him poking out the top is excellent. Then that wonderful French figure. This is what I'm going to be doing. And there we are, all done. Now, I've got to say, I am ready to get into this. I might get this built up really pretty quickly and see what we got. I find it really interesting. It's a fascinating release from Tamiya. It's totally random, as always. I ordered this from Kruger Models and got this one at the same time. I thought, well, if you're doing one, you might as well get the other. I'm going to bring them both together. And I might actually do another H39 in German service, seeing as it's got the other bits for it. But I'm certainly going to do this one German grey, this one in this scheme. I just do not fancy that. And there isn't many R35s that are in the green and brown. And again, I don't want sort of two. So I'd like to do it that way. So I might get on with these builds as we go on through, because it's something I really like the idea of. So as always, let me know your thoughts down below. Have any of you got this kit, started building it? What do you think of it? Are there any issues? I doubt it, personally, looking at it. But yeah, it's one I want to get into. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.